tuning in from my phone today instead of my usual work laptop, so if there's any hiccups, just bear with me here, but I think we'll be all right. I'm probably going to wait a couple minutes before we get right into it this week. Joey's not going to be joining us. He's on a bit of a road trip out west in Alberta and BC. So just me this week. Maybe while we're waiting a couple minutes for some more people to join, what I might do is just give you guys a brief tour of our Toronto office here. So the Toronto office is our main office in Canada. This is where we hold all our inventory and do the majority of our service work. So maybe I'll just turn the camera around so you don't have to look at me for too long. And I'll just give you guys a brief little tour of our Toronto office. So this right here is our sales office slash kind of lunchroom setup. Nothing too exciting going on in here. And then just recently we expanded to take up a little bit more space. And what we've got set up in here now is our inventory and service room. So as you can see, we're pretty well stocked with machines over there on the racking setup. A couple service counters here. So this is where we're doing machine maintenance or any type of work that needs to be done. So I'm working on an older 2001 at the moment. And then over here is our shipping counter. So we've got all our shipping supplies. A little bit of inventory set up here. If you're a Prosharp customer, you'll recognize some of this stuff. We got our diamond dressers, Accu-Lube, a little bit of a speaker set up here for some tunes while I'm working. Templates. We have a ton of different templates available, and we try to stay stocked as best we can, and all the popular ones here for you. Some grinding wheels for the home machine and skate pal. And then some grinding wheels for our AS machines here. A little bit of machinery here. And then I'll take you in. This room isn't complete just yet. This is going to be a boardroom slash showcase room. So if we ever host a meeting or an education, we've got a nice big space here with all of our machines on display. So we've got our home machine, which we've spent some focus on the last couple webinars that we've done. Skate Pal, AS2001, that's what we're going to be focusing on today. This is some of our marketing material that's quite common to see in some of our shops. And our 2001, that's our flagship machine here. And then we've got some accessories in our skate rack. So still some work to be done in the office. We've recently expanded, so we're still kind of getting it set up to our liking, but it's coming along quite nicely. So what we're going to do today is walk through the AS2001 machine. So a lot of our customers, whether it be equipment managers for teams, or more commonly, I would say shops, pro shops, and retail stores in rinks or standalone locations. I'd say the 2001 machine is what we're best known for. Prosharp profiling is starting to become very widely known and taking off quite quickly over the past handful of years here. And the 2001 has made its way into a lot of shops all across the world, Canada, US, but really all the European countries and abroad. So the 2001 has started to take off. The profiling is very widely accepted and quite valued. And if you've added a 2001 to your shop in the last little while, you've probably seen an increase in profiling. Once people start skating on some of the performance profiles like the quads and the superiors, it becomes very common for you to start profiling more and more skates, especially if you're a shop that sells new skates or replacement steel. The AS2001 is a very good fit for that type of a shop because it allows you to profile those new skates or those new skate blades without standing there the entire time profiling them. So the 2001 is certainly a popular machine for that regard. A lot of those shop owners who like the 2001 and have started to see an increase in profiling traffic, what they start to learn is the 2001 becomes almost a full-time profiler for them. You can certainly go back and forth between profiling and sharpening on the 2001 machine, On our newer version, that requires you changing the grinding wheel from the wider 46 grit wheel to the narrower sharpening wheel. That process can take about a minute to change out the grinding wheel. So a lot of the times the machine is just going for profiling, especially during back to hockey season when new skate sales and new steel sales really start to ramp up. The machine definitely becomes a full-time profiler in some of the higher volume shops. So in comes the AS2001. So if you're familiar with our 2001, the AS1001 is a very similar operation and a very similar looking machine. It's about half the size as far as width is concerned, but it operates almost the exact same way. The main functional difference between the 1001 and the 2001 is going to be you don't have the profiling capability on the 1001. So it'll be a specialty sharpener for your shop. And if you've got a good customer base that are already profiling their skates and they're starting to adapt to the profiling, they know to get it done on all their new steel and all their new skates, you can talk about profile maintenance with your customers, and that is retaining the shape of that skate blade each and every time you sharpen it so that you don't run into the scenario where the toes and the heels get too rounded off accidentally. So the 1001 is a great machine to discuss that with your customers and offer a service that's going to maintain their profile the best way possible. So I'm going to walk you through the 1001 today. I'm going to point out a few key highlights of the machine, and as we go along here I can see the comment section so I can take a look and maybe answer some questions that any of our viewers might have as we go. So the 1001, maybe what I'll do is I'll flip my camera around so that you can see what I'm talking about, and I will do a complete machine demonstration for you guys. So this is the 1001 compact machine. Takes traditional stone grinding wheels. You've got 3 different grits to choose from, 54 being the coarsest, 70 being the medium grit. That's our most popular grinding wheel. And then we've also got a 90 grit wheel. That's what I've got on the machine right now. So you choose which grinding wheel you like. They all do a great job and produce very consistent edges. So let's get right into a demonstration here. So the 1001, step 1 when you're about to sharpen a skate is you're going to need to dress your grinding wheel. So you're going to need to put the radius of hollow on the grinding wheel that's desired. So in order to do that, you're going to line up your hollow sticker with the desired hollow of choice. So popular in Canada and the US is 1/2 inch and 5/8. But you can dress the grinding wheel as deep as 1/4 inch if you wanted to. You can dress the grinding wheel as shallow as perfectly flat if you wanted to, or anywhere in between. So for the purpose of this demo, we'll line it up at 5/8 here. Then, before we get into dressing the grinding wheel, we want to make sure that our grinding wheel is in a fixed position. So we're going to use the wheel lock arm right here to make sure that our grinding wheel is in a nice secure position. Then our diamond dresser, which is this piece right here, I'm gonna lower that by twisting it clockwise, and I want my diamond dresser to be very close to the top of the grinding wheel, but I don't want it to be sitting on the grinding wheel when I go to start it up. So I'll get it real close and then I'll back it off just a touch. Then on our touch panel here, we've got our wheel buttons. When I press that, grinding wheel turns on, as does the vacuum system. Put my dust cover on here to contain the dust. And what I'm gonna do is just gently and carefully swivel my diamond dresser across the grinding wheel here. So as I'm going back and forth, I'm doing very, very minor turns of the diamond dresser just to drop it a little bit each time. And then I'm just gently going back and forth. And you can hear and you can feel when you've dressed that grinding wheel nice and smooth. So now that the grinding wheel is dressed, I'm gonna remove the dust cover. Very important to keep the top of your machine as dust free as possible while you're using the machine throughout the day. Gonna unlock the wheel arm so that we're free to sharpen. And then we're going to position our skate blade in the clamp. So you can sharpen a loose skate blade in here pretty effortlessly, or you can leave it in the skate just like so. So the skate's going to sit in the clamp steel right there. And then with the clamp handle on the left side, we're going to tighten this in place. And the clamp steel engages from both sides of the skate blade. So why is that important to note? Well, when it engages from both sides like that, what it's doing is it's centering our skate blade to the grinding wheel. Now, a lot of the sharpeners who are tuned in here, they'll already be pretty familiar with this, but it's very common for skate blades to be different in width, especially as you go from one manufacturer to another. It's quite common to see skate blades coming in at 2.6 or 2.7 millimeters wide. They could be closer to 3 mil or 3.1 millimeters wide. And then when we talk about older goalie skates or even figure skates, all steel is going to be a slightly different width. So the new clamping mechanism that we have on our machines for the last couple years, it speeds up the process for sharpening by eliminating the adjustment step. You no longer have to shift your grinding wheel based on the width of the skate blade that you're sharpening. You simply just clamp the skate in place, and then you can set the machine up to do as many desired cycles as you'd like. So this skate was in pretty good shape, so for the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to program the machine to run one cycle. Once I do that, I can lower the plexiglass workstation here, and what that does is it contains the dust really nicely, and it contains the noise quite well as well. So the workstations are a really nice addition to your shop. Number one, they look really sharp, but they do improve the work conditions for your employees back there as well. Or if you're a team in your equipment room, this will keep everything nice and contained for you. So we've just done one cycle on the skate blade here. What a lot of sharpeners really like to do is add some Accu-Lube to the grinding wheel, and what that does, it allows for a really shiny mirror-like finish. So maybe for the purpose of this demo, I'll show you guys how to do that. So I'll do one more cycle here. So I'm going to press the wheel button, turn on the grinding wheel, add a little bit of Accu-Lube, and then I'll program for one more cycle. I can slow down the speed of my pass by going to the left here, the number 1 or the number 2 speed, or I can go for a faster cycle by programming it for the 4 or the 5 speeds. The Accu-Lube is going to allow for a really nice shiny mirror finish, and we'll see if the camera can pick that up for you guys once we're done here. Alright, so we'll see if I can get my phone to stay there. So we've just completed one cycle there. So whenever you complete the sharpening, what would make sense to do now is to take the right skate from this pair, clamp it in the machine, and set it up for the same number of cycles that you just sharpened this skate to. So now while you're honing the edges, you're sharpening the next skate in line. So you can really see where you can improve some time savings with the addition of a second machine in your shop. You can be profiling a pair on your 2001, and you can be sharpening a pair on your 1001, and in between skates you can be finishing the edges, you can be doing some skate repairs for rivets, you can be helping a customer on the sales floor. A multi-machine setup really allows you to get more done without standing at the wheel the whole time. So that's another really big benefit for equipment managers who have 1,000,001 tasks on any given day. But also shop technicians in a retail setting, if you don't have to stand at the wheel the entire time, you can get more done around the store with the use of a 1001. So I've just honed my edges there. I'm gonna wipe it down, get rid of all the debris, and then we'll see how well the camera can pick this up. I'm not too sure how much you're gonna be able to see, but the 1001 does create a very, very nice shiny finishing pass, which a lot of sharpeners look for in a final result. So that's the process of the 1001. I know a lot of people at home are going to be asking to see if the edges are level here. So we'll put on our quick square, and that's what we're looking for. A nice 180-degree result. Inside edge is the same height as the outside edge. So really save yourself some time by using the 1001. It's going to center the skate blade to the grinding wheel for you, so you're not going to have to check a skate and then resharpen a skate. It's going to produce level edges for you every time, and very simple to learn. You can learn how to use this machine quite quickly, so you can expedite some training in the shop. And your existing shop technicians, they're just going to be able to do more now. If you add a 1001 in there, they'll be able to sharpen but also get more done around the store. So definitely some advantages to looking at adding an AS1001 to your setup. I'm trying to think if there's any other topics here that would be good to bring up. Figure skates. You can do figure skates on this machine quite easily. I don't have a figure skates in my office here to do a demo for you, but we've got a slider mechanism on the machine here, and what it does is it keeps your grinding wheel nice and low during the pass. So if you were sharpening a figure skate, you would line up your grinding wheel to meet the skate blade just below the front toe pick, and then the machine's going to do a nice flat pass for you so that you're not going to be rounding the heel off of a figure skate, and you're not going to risk buzzing the toe of a figure skate. So you've got a nice amount of adjustability with this machine, which a lot of people quite like. Very popular machine in Sweden where these are made. All of the Team Sweden equipment managers, when they travel for tournaments or away games, this is the machine that they would travel with. It comes in a nice blue, hard, solid travel case on wheels, so you can bring it around with you. Yeah, those are the main points of the 1001 here. So I'm just going to take a look, see if there's any questions. It wasn't a super in-depth webinar today, but I just really wanted to highlight some key points of the 1001. Make sure that everybody knew it was available, and everyone knew what it was all about, and how you can incorporate it into what you're already doing. So the profile maintenance is definitely a big factor in my opinion. The ability to sharpen multiple pairs of skates at once. We find that one shop technician or one equipment manager, they can comfortably handle 3 or 4 machines at once. So if you can imagine 3 1001s set up on a work counter side by side, and then you've got a skate rack with 12 pairs of skates on it to start the day. Right away, that one guy can walk into the shop, he can dress this grinding wheel at 1/2 inch, he can dress that grinding wheel at 5/8, and he can dress the next grinding wheel at 3/4 or whatever is popular in your area. And right away, you're ready to start sharpening. Get the skate clamped, fire it up for a few cycles, over to the next machine. All of a sudden, you're sharpening 3 pairs of skates at once. And of course, you still got to inspect the final product, so it's not like just anybody can sharpen skates. You certainly need to know what you're looking for in a completed, sharpened skate, in the sense that you've caught the full width of the skate blade, you've deburred and honed the edges nicely to finish that edge. You're checking to make sure the edges are coming out square, very important. So definitely still some knowledge, definitely still some skill involved in running a bunch of machines at the same time, but I do think that it would free up your best guys from standing sharpening to all of a sudden sharpening 3 pairs of skates at once, keeping the wait time down in a retail setting, or if you're an equipment manager and you have 20 pairs of skates to do every 2-3 days, this will really save some time for you if you've got a multi-machine setup. So really wanted to just highlight that, make sure everybody understood what was available. Hopefully my demonstration showed you how easy the machine is to use, and the results, very, very smooth, very, very clean, very, very consistent edges, and you're going to maintain your profile as you sharpen it. So thanks for joining. That's the 1001. I'm just going to take a quick look just to see if there's any questions coming through here. I got quite a few people tuned in watching. David Carlson, he's the head guy at SSU there. Any hands-on demos in Edmonton this summer? So what we'll do is we'll get you in touch with Joey. He's our sales and service manager based out of Calgary now. So he's constantly traveling around Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC. So we might able to get you set up with a demonstration of the 1001 David as he's making his rounds in Edmonton. So I'll connect you to after this. I got Steve from Duke Sorcerer Sports watching. What's going on, Steve? Yeah, that's pretty much all we got, guys. So thanks again for tuning in. We're going to continue doing these webinars every week. So we kind of go back and forth between the Boston office and the Toronto office as we go through the webinars here. So if you got any questions or if you've got any recommendations, if there's like a topic that you want us to address, something different, something that you haven't seen in our videos, maybe it's a question that you have with your machine or a question that you have about our profiles, feel free to shoot us a message on either our Facebook account or our Instagram account, or you could send me an email, john@prosharp.com. We're always interested in what our customers are looking to find out, and that's the main purpose of these webinars, is just to give people some information that they might not have otherwise had, stay engaged with you guys as we progress through this pandemic here, and make sure you guys are sharpening and keeping happy. So thanks again for tuning in. That's everything for now. And join us next week, and we'll have another topic for you guys. Shane and Ryan out of the Boston office, they'll get something set up, and we'll be back same time next week. Thanks again. See you guys.